If I did one thing for love, the opening line of a song I wrote whilst taking a 17-country world trip back in 2018. Now, I don't remember the precise moment when this song came to me, but it was at some point between the searing heat of Malta and the timeless snow-capped peaks of New Zealand. I'm taking a photo of them there. Now, with all songs and like all songs, they come to me in an instant, a blink of an eye. Some might say a flash of inspiration. If I did one thing for love, I would strip away all that I thought I was. Now, the meaning of these songs, that's a whole different matter. The song may come to me in the blink of an eye, but the meaning may take a little longer. It can take me days, weeks, months, sometimes years to fully understand what a song really means. My muse speaks in a beautiful tongue. Her language is so beautiful that I sometimes don't understand it straight away. I'm a human. In this case, the meaning came really quickly. I realized that I'd thought I was many things over the years. I thought I was a pop star back in my late teens and early 20s when I played shows to 1,400 people. I thought I was destined to work with the differently abled when I worked as a carer for autistic young adults. I thought I was a wolf of Wall Street when I lived in a sub-penthouse apartment in a swanky building in downtown Toronto working as a director of partnerships at a tech company. I thought I was an author when I published my first book, and I thought I was a good one when it hit number 1 on 6 Amazon charts, little charts. And for someone who doesn't consider themselves to be much of an actor, I sure have played quite a few roles. Now, I didn't just think about the roles that I'd played, I also thought about all the things I'd thought about myself. I thought I was broken beyond repair, as I suffered for most of my adult life thus far, with chronic physical and mental health issues that eventually led to 2 suicide attempts. I used to think that I couldn't live without alcohol for about the same amount of time, until I realized that it is possible, surprisingly. I thought I would never love anyone authentically based on the cultural upbringing I had, until I realized that I could love whoever I wanted. I thought I was a good person, but I sure have done some pretty bad things over the years. So can I really call myself a good person? If I did one thing for love, I would strip away all that I thought I was. Now, when it came down to it, this process of realizing that everything I thought I was eventually changed, or was rendered obsolete by time, or was ultimately subjective. I mean, you might not agree. I called myself a pop star, but you might not think so. And I didn't much like the idea that everything I thought I was ultimately meaningless. Realizing that was not a very nice moment at all. I felt tiny in this big, huge universe. But it got me thinking. I thought, if everything I ever think I will ever be, and everything I thought I was, and everything I think I am now means nothing, then surely there's something else out there that I can attach myself to. Surely there's another part of me that I can refer to when understanding who I am. If I did one thing for love, I would travel around the world in search of something I can give to you. I would hammer my every stone to find a jewel. And so I went on my trip. And as I wandered around this beautiful lake, I got to know my emotions. I didn't think about them too much. I just listened. And suddenly problems I'd had for years made a little more sense with the requisite emotions that took me past my logic. I continued to the camel fairs of Rajasthan in India. They're great. And I got to know my knowing. I asked myself, what do I really know about myself? And it turns out, not very much. But what I do know is beautiful. And suddenly I knew so much more than I did before. And later in Sydney, as I was sipping this tiny, bittersweet espresso, I found myself communicating with my body. I asked it to tell me something I didn't know, and I didn't think. And suddenly I realized it had a beautiful language of its own that I hadn't been listening to. I used to be 320 pounds. I didn't get there by listening. Now, just to run over this with a little more clarity, beyond our thinking place is our feeling place. The place that paints the color of emotion on our lives and gives us an understanding beyond our logical mind as to what serves us and what doesn't. Our knowing place, the place that simply knows things, that we love our mum. That's not my mum. That we love our dog. That's not my dog. Or that we love our stepmother's dog. She has 5. I love them. And the body, our longest serving companion who'll be here from before we're born till after we die. But how often do we find ourselves saying something along the lines of, I just can't feel this right now. There's the kids, and there's the school, and there's work. I just can't feel this. Or, I know this isn't exactly what I want to do, but 6 more months, maybe a year. Or, I should offer my body more nutrition, but cake. That's my one. Now, the solution to these dilemmas can be represented as a compass. To the north is our ever-present thinking place. Our capacity to use logic to better understand the world around us, to solve problems. The great machination that is our mind helps our heart beat and helps us pull air into our lungs. It can also cause us a lot of problems if it's left unchecked. Hence why we need the east, our feeling place, the emotion that adds something beautiful to our logic, that takes us away from being a pure android and makes us human. Our knowing. And our knowing place, that perhaps timeless place that tells us what we love and who we love. And our body to the west, our friend for life, who, if we learn how to treat kindly, we hope will return us abundant health. And herein lies my idea worth spreading. We're often taught to use our thinking place. And most of us hardly ever leave our thinking and our feeling place. I am a product of that. And I didn't get to 2 suicide attempts by knowing. It's so important to live our lives using every data point that is accessible to us. From our thinking, feeling, knowing, and body. Using all of these, we can make truly smart decisions. Now, the understanding of this concept came to me as this song came to me. And I may have said many words, but I probably can't share the message quite like when I sing it. I'd like to sing this song for you. Hello.
If I did one thing for love, I would strip away all that I thought I was, and I would come to you as the littlest me, and I'll bring you no excuse. 'Cause you only saw the paper mache faces that I wore, and I did believe that those faces, they were part of me, but they weren't. Now you can see me. If I did one thing for us, I would travel around the world in search of something I can give to you. I would hammer my every stone to find a jewel. 'Cause you only saw the man I hired to save me when I was so young and confused. He won me many wars, but he hurt you, so I let him go. And now you can see me. If I did one thing for love, I would strip away all that I thought I was.
Thank you.